חכמי פולין. סטודיו של היסטוריה מדוברת ומפגשים פולניים ישראלים. Studio of spoken history and Polish-Israeli encounters.
Hello, this is Hagai Cohen, and this is an introduction to the life and work of Polish, Jewish, Israeli ceramic artist Marek Cecuła. Marek Cecuła was born in 1944 in Kielce, Poland. During the Kielce pogrom, he is 2 years old. His family relocates to Israel, and in Israel, he decides to pursue a career in the arts. In the exhibition text, Disintegration, which is the exhibition that will open this week at Beit Binyamini, the curator, Shulamit Bauman, explains that what makes Marek's work so special is that he was able to connect three different sides to a triangle that is basically of his own making. And these three sides are art, design, and craft. Most people, when they think about ceramics, they think about potters who make functional tools to eat from or to drink from, or they think about perhaps a hobbyist or a factory like the Ćmielów factory in Poland that makes porcelain service sets. So these are the fancy teacups and coffee pots that families usually keep for a very, very long time. And these are a sort of status symbol and a festive sort of occupation. You don't use these nice tools for everyday stuff, you use them for special occasions. However, Marek is special because he was able to move freely between these three worlds. The artistic world, where you make ceramic objects and you don't have to be functional. They can be very big, they can be broken, they can be impractical, they can be made with different materials. The design world, in which case he designs such services for factories, and then they make them on mass production, and you too could purchase a Marek Cecuła designed service. And the world of craft. Craft is a more complex term. This is the revival of the human need to possess objects which are not mass produced. The best example of this is perhaps a very personal one. There is a film, The Quatermass Experiment. This is a British science fiction film. In this film there is a character, and this character is a Jewish British woman, and she collects the sort of pottery made by the beaker people. These are one of the earliest humans to live in the UK. The beaker people are called this way because they used to drink from a beaker. They made beakers. This is why they are known by this name, because modern archaeologists have found these beakers. And this fictional character voices an emotion or an attitude, which I think is very interesting. She says, when you drink from a vessel that someone drank from 5,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago, this is a very special feeling that connects the generations. And this is perhaps the uniqueness of pottery. Pottery survives for a very long time. Archaeologists are able to find it. We have Roman vases that used to contain oil and wine. We have Phoenician objects, Egyptian objects, Aztec objects, because most people throughout countries and times needed to eat and drink, and most humans prefer to do these things using vessels. This is one of the earliest things that people do. And even though Marek's work is not focused entirely on craft, this is one of the most powerful things about his decision as an artist. Not only is it one of the most earliest forms of human art and human need, it is also very much connected to the land and to the earth. When I did interviews with ceramic artists, they told me that in the past, before mass production of clay, people used to make their own clay, and various potters would actually keep these locations secret so that other people will not go and simply dig up their resources, because to make clay you need earth, and the earth is special. The earth in this part of a country is richer in iron, so it's reddish, and the earth in the other part of the country has different components which make it black, or it hardens faster in the kiln, and so on and so forth. So these locations were secret, and there were pottering families, and they used to keep this as a trade secret. So by creating such objects, Marek connects to this need to have something made by another person. Marek was also the curator of the 2004 Third Israeli Ceramics Biennale, which took place in the Land of Israel Museum in Tel Aviv. This was a hugely significant exhibition, and this exhibition also helped many young people because it had a follow-up. It had two small satellite exhibitions. One was curated by Aryeh Franco, the other was curated by Dr. Irit Sipper. And these allowed young people in Israel to see that there are more options in ceramic as an art form. We hope you will enjoy this particular podcast, and if you can, visit the exhibition at Beit Binyamini during the time it is shown. On the rooftop of Beit Binyamini, which is a wonderful ceramic center here in Tel Aviv. I am in conversation with the Polish, Jewish, Israeli artist Marek Cecuła. Hello.
Hello. Good to see you.
It is very good to see you. We are here because you are about to open an exhibition of your works in Israel. You are a very well-known ceramic artist in your field. For those in the audience who may not be aware, ceramic is a big, big world. Most people are familiar with the potter, the person who makes from wet clay cups and plates and jugs to drink from. And this is a part of the world of ceramic. But Mr. Cecuła is actually a very well-known international artist in the world of ceramic. Your work has plates with artistic images printed on them. Your work has broken pieces with Hebrew letters on them. Your work has beautiful porcelain that is not functional because it is broken into small pieces. Please tell us more about your relationship with your artwork.
In my case, because I'm also a designer and I'm also an artist, so I have a duality in my work. I created work which is utilitarian in one aspect, but then in another one, I want to express myself. Still, I'm using the same material and the same elements actually to actually translate it something else than utilitarian normal condition of the plate. So in this exhibition, specifically in this exhibition, I use this element daily dishes and elements from the table, which is we're using every day. And through these elements, I try to express the condition of the world today. The word disintegration, which is the name of the exhibition, is specifically describing that condition of what we're crossing today in 21st century. And we're seeing that elements in the society, in the war, in the economy, in the nature. So as an artist which is dealing with this daily routine, which is daily dishes, the daily normal ceramic, I try to actually saying something through this kind of deformation, destruction of this daily normal situation of our homes. Still, the plates of porcelain which we eat from, which is, of course, it's the very important element of our routine of our life. Now these dishes are different. They are broken. They actually becoming evidence of some kind of accident, of some kind of something what's happened. So they translate it not anymore at the utilitarian aspect to eat from it, but to express this situation which has happened to them. And because I work in porcelain and I'm working in a factory, manufacture, I'm surrounded with the elements of which is utilitarian porcelain. So I'm using all these elements as an artist, using them from the factory, which is capable to utilizing that in my work, and actually deformating them. actually doing some kind of artistical sabotage in this work, destroying this system of production because they're not anymore part of the production line, but they become unique. Each one of these plates or the cups or the teapot becoming individual expression as original. And they are carry on kind of dramatic expression because they're not broken, they are like porcelain. But there is something on them, on the surface of this work, which is showing the element of time or element of corrosion or element of some kind of destruction, which is we don't know how this is happening. So this is the main aspect of the disintegration.
In my mind, your visual work has a relationship with the cups and jugs and plates of Yosel Bergner, the painter, because in his paintings he usually depicted these items, these household items, and they were broken or they were cracked or they were in a condition of disarrangement. And many people think that Yosel Bergner, who was the son of a very famous Yiddish language poet called Melech Ravitch, he in his work was a very Jewish painter, and he depicted the sense of loss and the sense of tragedy after the Holocaust, where all these items, all these porcelains, all these forks, all these hats, all these glasses, all of these were either looted by the Germans, or they were given to neighbors, or they were simply destroyed. It is a very rare Jewish family that can say, oh, this is the service that my great-grandfather used for the Passover meal, because not many families have this sense of continuity. In your case, you were 2 years old during the Kielce pogrom in the town of your birth. But despite of this pogrom, which happened after the war, you have a loving relationship with Kielce.
Not so much loving relationship. So actually, when I came back to Poland after my city, Kielce, after many, many years, I felt that the city is actually covering up this aspect of pogrom and all these terrible things, what's happening in my city. And I felt like an artist who's coming back to the city to revival that, to actually to take the things which is taboo in this case and expressing them in an artistic way. And that's actually, I felt kind of responsible more than loving situation. And actually I felt that this is my goal, my actually duty to actually, as an artist, to express this part. And of course, as a Jewish artist, person who come from Jewish home, I try to bring back this kind of situation where there was so many Jewish people living in that place, and now there's nobody there. So that vacuum which is left in the city became for me inspiration in a way to create certain amount of work in the city, public work, which is representing the idea of a Jewish community who live there, or the tragedy which has happened. So I did the cemetery of this of Kielce. There is a memorial of the pogrom. So I did very nice, interesting new stone, beautiful represented. I did menorah, which is also representing the entry to the ghetto, Kielce, where my father was there also, of course. And the several other works. And the most, I think, important work is the Kielce Chronicle, which is actually the kind of collective memory of the Kielce in the period of 20th century, with all the tragedy and happiness which happened in the city. On the fragments of little broken porcelain, because I'm having that a lot in my surroundings, my factory, I put it decal illustration from the archive of Kielce, of Jewish family, of pogrom, of happy and bad things which is happening in the city. Of course, my family also is there. So the images of all these things are together on broken pieces of porcelain in the one concentrated place. Kind of history without any chronology. And people actually looking into that, picking up and using that. And the collage of this sea of this little broken porcelain changing all the time and actually becoming revival of the history mixed with the emotions of and recognizable things of people, which is looking into that.
So these works are in this exhibition. These are the piles of fragments where you can sift through them, you can look at things, you can see pictures of people, you can read letters. This is an example of the work that's also shown at the Tolerance Museum in Kielce. There are other works in this exhibition. As we said, we have the porcelain that is somehow disrupted or disintegrated. These porcelains are actually the result of your cooperation with the Ćmielów Polish porcelain factory. Is this correct?
Yeah, this is interesting because, you see, I'm surrounded with a lot of production elements in my factory. I see them all the time around me. But also I see a lot of elements in porcelain. A lot of things get destroyed by the kiln, the fire in the process, and they become a beautiful distortion of the original plate, crack, which is happening in the kiln. I'm seeing that not as they're throwing them away, of course, but because it's not anymore good for sales. But me as an artist, there's something happened in the kiln, which is happened as an accident, and that accident created some kind of mark, some kind of condition to that plate, which is I recognizing, using that then for body expression. So in fact, I collecting a lot of deformated or broken already elements by the process of the porcelain, and then this each crack or each elements like that suggesting something else to me, which is I kind of continue and developing, put on that image of something on the plate or using that in different way. So in this kind of cooperation between the artistical expression and the accidental condition of the process of making porcelain. So this is kind of interesting as the artist being inside of the factory, being surrounded with all these elements of production, and then taking advantage of that unsuccessful pieces of porcelain and making them again being valuable and being part of art, which is bringing emotions or value into our home.
People who will come to this exhibition will see plates with Torah scripture printed on it. They will see plates with, for example, David by Michelangelo printed on it. And they will see porcelain sets that are actually, if you would use them to pour tea, the tea would run out. What scriptures did you select? I mean, David's Michelangelo is obviously a very important, quote-unquote, Jewish or Hebraic figure. What were the texts that you used, and like why these and not other texts?
The images on the plate, you mean?
I mean the words on the plate.
You see, I planned this exhibition a year ago, and we didn't have the condition which we have in Israel right now, which is the war in Gaza. When they come to the exhibition, I thought actually this type of exhibition, which the subject of the exhibition, disintegration, is actually something symbolic, which has happened together with timing for the exhibition in Tel Aviv. So in fact, this exhibition actually representing not only the condition of the world as a general, but also specific situation which is happening right now in Israel. So the disintegration is a general idea of condition in here and in other places in the world, also in my area of Poland and Ukraine, what's happening there. So in actually the subject of that exhibition is made to represent the situation through the elementary dishes which is we're using every day to eat, to get food and to nourish our body for existence. So these elements are very critical because they are also collective idea of our central what's happening in our home. It's the epicentric of our daily routine. So the dishes are very symbolic meaning, and seeing them destroyed and being deformated and kind of broken or fired or something bring a lot of emotion about our daily life. And that's why this exhibition is actually not exhibited to showing the beauty of porcelain, but to showing the meaning of porcelain in our life in that kind of condition.
In that case, this exhibition is very, very impressive, and I very much hope that people who listen to our podcast will be able to come to Israel and see it. I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, and I'm very happy to be here and showing my work in Israel, where I actually grew up. I've been here many years and know people, a lot of ceramic artists, which is I know, so I'm happy to showing them my work after so many years. And unfortunately, the work is really dealing with this kind of issue, but I think it's back the point.